Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SEO0320 representing JVS. I am back, you guys. So, whether you know it or not, yesterday I gave a review for Ghost in the Shell. I saw the advanced screening for it. Most of you guys are probably seeing it tonight or either tomorrow or Saturday. Well, I saw it yesterday. I saw it with one of my friends, and I went in really thinking, oh, here we go, another upset when it comes to the anime to adaptation, verse kind of speaking. I have bought the Rurouni Kenshin, live action, which I've heard is really good. I just have not seen it yet. But everything else before this, I was like, it's just not been there. And lo and behold, I ended up giving Ghost in the Shell, this live action feature with Scarlett Johansson, a 8.5 out of 10. I don't know if y'all actually watched my review or not, but if you haven't, I would definitely go and check it out. It's actually pretty interesting. Right now I'm in traffic. I'm actually driving, and I gotta get to my fiance, and so I won't have any time to do anything tonight because we got a budget meeting, got a couple other things we got to work on for the wedding. So I probably won't even watch Riverdale, and I doubt I'll catch up on the originals. But let's go ahead and talk about the things I didn't say in my review. Okay, so one of the things I didn't talk about in a review is just how amazing the score is. So the original one had this kind of neo score, a little edge to it, very different, very visually immersive, which this is visually immersive as well, but the sound is awesome. I saw this in IMAX 3D and the visual effects were amazing, but the sound complemented it. And I was like sitting there watching certain scenes with Major and the action sequences were really lows, really highs, but the score itself is actually really good. Like, I actually would pay money for the score. And I was really taken back by that. The other thing about it is the fact that I'm still thinking about this movie after the movie's already over with. I really was just surprised that I would still be thinking about the movie, thinking about the things I liked about the movie, liking it more over time. I think that the longer you process this film and you kind of go back and, watch, the original 1995 or Ghost in the Shell 2.0, which is really just a rehash of the same thing. I think even there's a Ghost in the Shell, the new movie, where it's kind of like a remaking of the same exact thing. Either way, this is something that over time I've processed, and I'm like, man, I really want to now watch the other films. So it's not only replay value in this film, not necessarily to find things that you miss, kind of like Get Out, but more so like, man, just seeing how cool it is to actually have a decently good, anime to live action adaptation conversion, because we just haven't had it. I'm an anime fan, like hardcore. I could go and get on, Hulu, Crunchyroll, or whatever right now and watch, but that's just not something we've had that's really good in live action adaptation. The other thing, like I said, is that this movie will make you want to go back and watch the original, watch the other shows, and I can't say that with Power Rangers. I can't say that with some other films that I've seen, this year that kind of come from something else. But this movie, I can say, it makes me want to go back and wow, this is interesting. Wow, this is world building. I think that the way that they crafted the world, and the way that they did different things with Major, it makes it more compelling, and it makes it way more interesting for me as a viewer. I really want to know more from this version of Major, even in comparison to what I've seen in anime. And even with that, I'm thinking in my head, so are there any mentions to, this scene in the movie, or this thought that Major has, she's ever had this? So it makes me want to go back through literally the series and watch it. So I think that's a really big plus. If any director, any kind of studio can be able to make me feel or think that. Oh, I did say, I was talking about the sound, but I'd recommend going checking this out in IMAX, or if not, AMC Dolby. AMC Dolby, the sound quality in IMAX are amazing. This is one of those films that I'd recommend definitely doing that with. Oh wow, it's some kind of accident, you guys. Hold on, bear with me for a second. Yeah, quality is a little bad too. But But yeah, I can't check on you guys' chats. I apologize because I'm literally driving. The other thing I wanted to touch on is it's two different things I want to touch on. One was the fact that, contrary to popular belief, there's not a lot of gore in this film. There's a lot of interesting visual things that happen from an animatronic standpoint, but there isn't a lot of gore. Like, when, Major shoots somebody, I don't really necessarily see the blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of different ways that I was sitting there, I was like, it didn't bother me. Like, I thought that, it was okay, that I didn't see the blood here or in this scene where it was kind of like more stuff. Because I think that the trade-off would be, it'll be like that consistent adding of like a rated R rating, which I don't think they'd be able to reach as big a demographic of people if they did have it. But for those hardcore fans, this is what I'm going to say I'm going to propose. I'm proposing that when the movie comes out on Blu-ray and DVD, that they have an unrated version. I am praying, honestly, that the director has already, transposed a different version that has those gory scenes, that has that unrated kind of edge to it. So for us as adults, we can get some kind of extra replay value out of it. Because I think that the movie itself, the action beats are awesome. But if, there was that one scene, you saw somebody get shot in the head and you see the blood kind of running down from their head, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would be something that I would never kind of forget, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like, the Wolverine. When the Wolverine came out, it benefited from a rated R version. And I think that this one would definitely benefit, but it doesn't necessarily need it. It really doesn't need it at all. But I think that for me, especially as a fan, I think that they should definitely go and release a unrated version. The last bit that I'll say is everybody's still kind of like, even with my review, somebody was like, and I apologize, man, like if you feel offended, by my review, but they were like, I'm going to unsubscribe to your channel because even though this is a good review, you're supporting a racist-based film. Shoot, man. Oscar So White has been in the minds of everyone for the past 2 years. And I will say that, this year, what I'm saying, it's not just that, they've added a whole bunch of extra, African-American movies or minority films that have getting like the accolades that they deserve. Like, these films have been great. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've been some really good films. So for me, the proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you put in is what you're going to get out. And I think that this year, they've really turned the corner with a lot of different things that they've made some great films. Like, it doesn't even, to me, like the whole whitewashing thing, I'm not so onto that. That's not something that I'm sitting there watching this movie and like, oh wow, I can't believe they didn't, cast an Asian actor. Because there is an Asian actor in this film. It's probably 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. I want to say probably 3 though. But the thing about it is, how do I put this without spoiling it? There's a scene towards the latter act of the film that complements who Major is. Not just as a cyborg, so to speak, but who she really is. Her ethnic background. Where did she come from? And I think that for me, not that makes up for anything, but I think it definitely helps. Like those people that were kind of like, man, this is a whole disservice to, this, why, that. I think that they would really look at that like, wow, like I can't believe they actually went there, because it actually makes sense. And I don't want to say why, but personally, I think they do a really good job with making up for that with Major in her character development, because I think that was one of the most compelling parts of it. And I thought it was the most intriguing part about it, because I didn't see that. That's not something that the anime necessarily could do. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll talk about it more in my spoiler review. But I think that for me, I didn't look at this film like really like, man, like it should be this. And it's weird. And I'm gonna say this, like, you guys haven't seen my review for Iron Fist yet, but I'm eventually gonna be doing my review on Iron Fist. And I'm gonna say this. How do I put this? Finn Jones is an awesome actor, regardless if you know that or not. The problem was they did not allow him to have enough prep to properly train to immerse himself into these fight sequences, such as, like, you know what I'm saying, with Charlie Cox for Daredevil. That's why when you look at those fight scenes, like, it's like night and day. Like, Daredevil fight scenes are better than Iron Fist, and that shouldn't be the case. They only had, I think, like 15 days to close to a month to actually prepare this man, and that's it. And honestly, I've really felt that, yeah, they could have gotten, you know, an Asian actor, and I know there was one guy that was in the Iron Fist film or show that did an amazing job, who's an awesome actor who competed for it. But personally, I thought that Scott Adkins could do it. The guy from Ninja, the guy from Undisputed. I thought that Scott Adkins not only was the right age, but I thought that he could embody that character very well. But what they wanted to do, the studio wanted to go with the younger actor, and I can't fault them for that. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird because as much as I think that Finn Jones did a good job, I think that he was typecasted in that regard, or at least they should have given him more time. And my issue isn't because of his, you know, who his status is or what his, you know, race is. It's more so like, what are you capable of bringing to this table? And I think that it's the same thing with Scarlett. Like, Scarlett Johansson, I think that when you look at the movie Under Her Skin, that will show you everything you need to know about her being able to play a character that is stuck in a robot body, because she plays it to perfection kind of there. She's just got that edge to her that can be able to pull that off. Now, I think that Scarlett Johansson, you know what I'm saying, she probably could have done it. Like, there's some other actresses that could have done it, but I think that Scarlett Johansson did a really good job. I think that she did a really good job. So, personally for me, those are just some of the thoughts I had, but from the simple fact that I'm still thinking about this film, that's got to tell you something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just sit there and be like, keep pondering stuff. And it's not because I'm trying to make this movie a spectacle, so to speak. I think it's just a good film. And I think that some people are going to be really apprehensive about, like I was. Like, I wasn't, like, all, gung-ho for this film up until the last day. The last day, something told me, you know what I'm saying, like, let me try to look at this film and go from not from wanting it to be what I wanted it to be, but seeing what it could be. And I was pleasantly surprised to say that it was actually really good, and I actually really enjoyed it, which, again, I've said before, even in my other review, that some people are not going to like this film just because they are diehard fans. There's some people that are going to look at this film like, this is so weird, I hate anime, XYZ. But I think that, generally speaking, if you have a little bit of knowledge of Ghost in the Shell, or if you've never seen it, and you look at this is going to make you more intrigued with the world than, canceling out anything, personally. So that's just my thoughts. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this discussion and post thoughts. I will be trying to do more of a spoiler review, possibly with other people, depending on how they how they like or dislike the film, because I want to get Jarrell's in here and actually go and do a discussion with maybe Amon Snow and some other people. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how other people really perceive this film, because I know that I looked at Chris Stuckman and he gave it like an A-, but then like Jeremy Johns, he gave it, basically kind of like a C or C-, I guess, in his whole world. But me, I gave it 8.5, so I was somewhere in the middle. I actually really enjoyed it. So the thing is, I really want to see it again. Like, I'm actually debating, asking my fiance, you know what, you want to go see Ghost in the Shell? But I doubt I do that. But anyway, you guys, I gotta go. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Y'all have a blessed and awesome afternoon. I'll talk to y'all soon. I don't think I'm gonna post any videos up today other than both Flash reactions. I'm gonna upload both of those Flash reactions to episode 17 and 18. So look forward to those clips, and peace, everybody.